Conversations with Azu Ishekwene.
Hi, I'm delighted to welcome you to Conversation with Azu. Our last time out here, precisely on the 9th of August, we're talking politics. Today, we're discussing travel writing, and we want to talk about Azu's journey to Yenagoa 19 years after. With me on Conversation with Azu today is the author of the column Conversation with Azu, published on the back page of Leadership newspaper and syndicated across multiple platforms. You're welcome to Conversation, Azu.
Thanks for having me, Julius. I've almost forgotten that we haven't done this for quite a bit. It's nice to be back. Thanks.
Apart from the Lagos traffic, when was the last time you were in a 3-hour journey on the road?
I can't remember really. I guess Lagos traffic is the place where you occasionally face that kind of situation. But again, I haven't been in Lagos for quite a bit, so I really haven't faced this sort of traffic for a long time.
Sort of driving in.
Yes, drive. Yes. Well, but long drive, and then it wasn't just about the drive. It was also about the experience in the second part of the journey on my return, which most people had estimated would be shorter. It's far longer than I had estimated, which also meant spending quite some time in travel.
In the article, you have said you were somehow filled with trepidation. You overcame the fear of monkeypox, and went to Yenagoa. And how did the book reading go?
Oh, the book reading went extremely well, and I thank the content board and folks who turned up from 4 different universities in Bayelsa State for coming, including accomplished writers as well. We had in the room we had something like 70 or 80 persons in the room, and of course we also had quite a number of people watching online. It went very well.
I'm surprised because the number of attendants. I was going to ask for you to just give a brief comparison of the reading session that held in Abuja and that which just held in
well, that's interesting. The one in Abuja, which we had in July, I suppose, was attended by a fewer number of persons. Yes, both online and also institute. So we had fewer number of persons. The experience in the one of Abuja was also good because it sort of set the stage for the subsequent readings that we are going to have. The one in Abuja, you may remember, was the first book reading after the public presentation in June. So, in terms of numbers, I would say that clearly the one in Yenagoa was much larger. But again, I think also in terms of engagement, because we had a situation where a lot of people, even after the book reading, wanted to ask questions, wanted to know how to monetize content, wanted to know what my experience had been. And I spent nothing less than 30 minutes also signing books.
Wow.
So, yes, I think that in a way, Abuja was a good start. At Woburn Heights was a good start because we sort of put the experience that we gathered at that book reading in Abuja in use when we went to Yenagoa. So, yes.
Well, the Nigerian Content Development Board hosted you. Are we looking forward to more collaborations with possibly other government agencies?
Yes, well, it's not just, not just government agencies. There's another book reading coming up. I was hoping to be in October, but now it's looking more like it's going to be in the first week of November. So that's another book reading coming up, and the Keystone Bank has indicated interest. And we're also now talking to Nelfund, because we're hoping the one coming up in October, November. We're also hoping to get about 6 universities, both in Lagos and around the South, to be present. And it's most probably going to be a combination of both the book reading and the sort of town hall experience we once had at this university. So yes, exciting times ahead.
Very exciting times ahead for us. Tell us briefly your eyewitness. I don't want to say account. Your eyewitness from the east-west road. What is it looking like?
Oh, that was quite an experience, and I think I shared in a number of my posts that perhaps one should start an east-west blog, or a blog on the east-west road, which you may call the east-west road blog, if you like. As you know, the construction of the east-west road, which is the major arteries, the major highway linking the 6 states in the south, and it's also the gateway to the east. And that road has been under construction for the past 18 years. I think the only road in Nigeria that surpasses it in terms of length of time under construction and incredibly little result to show for all the effort is probably the Lagos-Ibadan Express, which took God knows over 2 decades.
If you had asked me, I would have said the Abuja-Lokoja Express.
Oh wow, and that's another one. So I really frankly didn't expect that I would be faced with the sort of situation that I would find the road in the sort of situation in which I found it. Of course, portions of it have been done, but swaths of it, large portions of the road remain uncompleted, especially after the Yenagoa, when you are approaching the Port Harcourt end of it. Still a lot of work to be done, And then almost every now and then you come up against the NDDC sign saying, well, NDDC is doing, but there's no evidence of the work that NDDC is doing after over 300 billion, and we're told we need another 1 trillion to come. There's no evidence really. And another interesting thing I found about the road, as I also said in my column, was the checkpoints. All right, I mean, we're all used to, if you're in this country, Nigeria, of course, we're used to checkpoints by now. But the checkpoint was a very interesting combination. So you had security men, obviously in some sort of alliance with young folks from the community. And so sometimes somebody comes dressed in mufti, and of course you have to be careful when you are driving, because even when you thought you have now reached a smooth portion of the road, before you know what's happening, you come up against a barricade. And then on some of the barricades, young people dressed in mufti just come up, and you're wondering, who's this? Unfortunately, you have to be careful in some of these places, because unlike parts of the country where network is, where you have network and then you can make a call when you are in distress, when you get to those areas, the network is a bit patchy. So you just played really cool, because God forbid if anything goes wrong, you'll be entirely on your own. And those were, along many of these checkpoints, not very pleasant experience at all. But then you see the thing about content and about monetization and monetizing content, which is what we're all about, is that these are the sorts of experiences that people want to share. Because you also wonder, how do people around those areas, around the areas we are talking about, how do they live? And for example, once you get off the aircraft, once you leave the Wani airport, you find a lot of activities, people selling, people buying, and all sorts of things happening in the midst of all the chaos of construction going on. And so you wonder, how is all of this happening, and people are still able to eke out a living from what will appear to you to be utter chaos. And then, of course, when you start your journey down the road, all sorts of experiences sort of confront you, from which I think that that's really the stuff of daily content, so that your blog becomes a repository of very rich content whenever it is that this road is finally finished.
Now, for our viewers out there, what we've been talking about, the book we're referring to, is Azu's second book, Writing for Media and Monetizing It. Basically, what Azu is saying is, if you lack content, or if you want content, travel provides an avenue for writing. And I think this is a good place to bring this show to a close. You may visit our blog, www.azuishekwene.com, and for the book, you can go to azu.media for more content. What we do here, as usual, I always try to remind you, are snippets. We just try to add context to the column published on the back page of Leadership Newspaper. If you want to get the full details of this, you have to go to that site and read the content so you can broaden your, deepen your perspective and understand what the conversation is all about. Visit our social, share our content on social media, and visit our social media handles for more on whatever it is that Azu engages in: writings, lectures, videos, and what have you. Thanks for coming on the show, Azu.
Thanks for having me, and I must say we also miss Azuk. I hope that in the next show or so, maybe one after that, she'll be able to join us. Thanks. It's nice to be back. Thank you.
Conversations with Azu Ishekwene.